Welcome to the special edition of Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is the review for the greatest Royal Rumble. Of course, I'm Patrick Young. This guy to my right is wearing the same shirt as me. And yes, it is pretty weird. Joe Venuta.
This is our greatest Royal Rumble review. This show wasn't that long. It was only 5 hours. After 7-hour WrestleMania, this isn't too bad.
It's a nice improvement from WrestleMania's 87.4 hours.
We kick things off with John Cena versus Triple H. With John Cena picking up the win.
I did like John Cena versus Triple H. I always liked their matches when I first watched them, like with WrestleMania 22. Like I liked it the first. I liked it the match the best when I watched it the first time. Then it fell down a little afterwards. But I felt that these two guys had a much stronger showing this time around. They didn't really do anything special. They didn't go out of the box or anything. It was just technically this whole pay-per-view it's a house show that's televised.
Yeah.
With WrestleMania quality production. So they pretty much just went out there, had fun. They didn't have to impress anybody or try to get anything over. They just went out there and had a fun match.
Yeah. It was a big random match on a big random spectacular house show, I guess. It did what exactly what it was supposed to do, and it had the legitimate star power right out the gate. At times they did show their age, obviously.
Yeah.
But the crowd was into them all the way through. They saw that incredible command from the two of them. They kept it simple. The result was fun. Maybe long and spectacular with who was in it, but that was a fun match to kick off the show.
For what it was, I actually gave it a B+.
I gave it a B. Up next, Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship. I forgot to put my notes in. I'll just bring this up.
I thought it was a nice cruiserweight matchup with Kalisto doing a lot of hurricanranas and head scissors and tornado DDTs. I thought it made it for a very fun cruiserweight match. Stuff that you kind of expect from the cruiserweights in their grand history of luchadors and strong style guys. Just a fast-paced, nice, energetic match, and also it's the same thing you can say about every match. That I'll probably stop saying after this time that it's a televised house show with WrestleMania Productions.
Yeah.
So they didn't go completely crazy with everything. It was just nice and fun with what they had.
I thought this was a little stronger version of the match between Cedric and Mustafa at WrestleMania. This one seemed like they were a little bit more let go, I guess, per se. It was a good match. Cedric picked up the win, I forgot to say. With a little more checking in 10 minutes. It could have opened up the show if both guys were more known to the audience. In this case, WWE opens up. Excuse me, right.
I gave it a B.
B. Up next, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy defeated The Bar for the World Tag Team Championships.
For what it was fine. We finally have new tag team championships, new champions, and Bray and Matt. They're obviously the most over, and still on Raw. The match itself, the Bars had better, so has Matt and Bray. No, there's not really much more you can really add except for some reason it didn't completely click. It was fine for what they did with it, but it.
The expedition is complete. You could add that.
Yes.
The match wasn't all that pretty. And it was easily the worst on the show to this point, but it was still a solid one. I think there was some sloppiness late in the match with Matt failing to break up the panel Bray on time, and even their double team twist of fate looked a little awkward on Sheamus. I'm not sure because Sheamus is a bigger guy compared to the Revival and who already beat on Monday Night, the Ascension.
Yeah.
Victor. The right team did go over though, and there's definitely potential for great things from Matt and Bray. But I can't help to be a little disappointed considering who was in the match and stuff though.
Yeah. I ended up giving it a C.
I gave it a C+. Up next, Jeff Hardy defeated Jinder Mahal in 6 minutes and 50 seconds for the United States Championship. Keeping the United States Championship on SmackDown Live.
For whatever goodwill Jinder has been building up from me saying that it seemed like he was improving and putting on his working boots finally, he took a gigantic step backwards to me. In stuff that I didn't necessarily expect from him. Usually Jinder's stuff in the ring is more boring. However, this time he was making just mental mistakes and errors that we don't usually see out of him. Again, usually his major problem is that he's not all that entertaining, or he's not exciting to watch. But this time he was literally just missing spots where in one particular one, obviously, would be the Whisper in the Wind. Jinder wasn't even ready. Jeff had his back to him, so he just did it. And
I don't even think it was supposed to hit. I think Jeff was supposed to miss. Because Jeff went over there. Where he was. Jeff wouldn't land on nobody anyway.
Yeah. And then Jinder stands up, looks over, and then falls down.
And then Jeff just turned around like, what the fuck? And just pinned him.
Yeah.
That wasn't the end of the match, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just stuff like that. He was just making mental mistakes.
Yeah.
For what it was, for everything else, it wasn't terrible. So I'm not going to fail it, but it was just a huge step back for Jinder and the progress he's made in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, the match was slower paced than our first one, but that was due to the storyline with Jeff's knee on that end. But on Jinder's end, it was sloppy, disjointed, and more slower than you would normally expect from him. It was kind of like that spark. It was kind of one-dimensional on his end and sloppy. I did give it my lowest graded show, but it was a disappointment given the quality match that Jeff and Jinder had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
On Raw.
It is my lowest grade too. I gave it a D.
I gave it a C-. Up next, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. Bludgeon Brothers pick up the win in 5 minutes with the count one.
Again, it's more of a disappointment than anything else. I expected much better from these two teams. Because a couple years ago they had fantastic series with each other. This one is more or less. It just seemed like they were just trying to get past this match, essentially. Like they didn't really think it through or whatever. It was just they went out there, did all their major stuff, and then got out. Again, it wasn't bad. It was just more or less disappointing for what I've seen them do before.
Yeah, it was an almost solid but unspectacular match that didn't really live up to the hype with the talent though. This felt like a house show title bout in which the winners were never really in question, unless you were me.
Yeah.
The commentary did do a phenomenal job here, where Cole, for once, because Cole was having a rough night elsewhere.
Yes.
They did a phenomenal job putting over the destruction left in the path of the Bludgeon Brothers, Cole, Corey, and Byron. Effectively put over Luke and Eric as the unbeatable champs. I had a question who could possibly throw them. That does open the door for somebody to come along. So let's see them at some point. Maybe Sandy in the future.
Yeah.
And when they do, they'll be more over as a result.
I gave it a C.
Yeah, this is more like for the WrestleMania match. I'm doing this match more based off of the book and the Bludgeon Brothers than anything else. So I give it a C+. Up next, Seth Rollins retained the Intercontinental Championship and keep it over Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and The Miz, and then the ladder match.
I thought the ladder match was a fun ladder match. I think this year it's obviously the second best ladder match in WWE. It's going to be hard to top the one in NXT Takeover this year. But still, for what they did with it was incredibly fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. It's probably my favorite match of the night. It may not be graded better than other matches, but I think it's my favorite match of the night. I had the grade tied with a couple others. But still, it was a good match and wholly enjoyable.
The best match they showed to this point, bar none. A lot of that can be attributed to the in-ring chemistry this year, where Seth, Finn, Samoa Joe, and Miz have worked together a ton over the last year, so it makes sense they can deliver when called upon. The Farrell and Ladder thing's going to be trigger, but they proved that Friday night. The lack of big bumps probably has some fans dismayed. But it's on showed us a glorified house show with a WrestleMania lineup, so
Yeah.
it's important to avoid injuries in this case. They did at least appear on the surface besides a cut on Finn's eye. And the right guy to go over. The Fizz is an interesting one in that it continues building a rivalry between Seth and Finn over the Intercontinental title. The disappointed Finn continued to experience feeling the side faction go very well fueled with heel turn because right now his babyface character is kind of one-dimensional on the role, so.
Do you think the ending was a little problematic in a way, where Finn was literally just at the top of the ladder reaching for the belt and then Seth just jumped up and grabbed the belt?
I think it was problematic in the sense that Finn didn't fight him for it.
Yeah.
If you just watch Seth springboard.
I could see, like...
The visual is cool.
Yeah, the visual is pretty cool. I could see Finn, like, still trying to climb it, Seth jump, then run up and grab it.
Yeah.
Like, Seth is, like,
but once,
sort of
like,
taking
Finn's
taking his time.
But once, like, Seth got on a ladder, Finn just stopped.
Yeah.
And just
he was just like that, and I think he, like, touched his arms.
And then
Seth just grabbed it.
And just looked shocked that Seth did that. Yeah. At this point, I think he'll try best for him.
Probably, yeah.
And make their rivalry a little bit more interesting at this point.
I gave it a B+.
Hey. Next, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura had a double count-out finish in 15 minutes for the championship.
I think this is a little bit closer to what we were expecting from their match from WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically, I mean, Joe mentioned it before when we were talking to each other when we were watching, that it's probably that the story they've done with it so far is probably what's added to this match. And to be honest, I do actually kind of like the double count-out finish. Sometimes I don't like it where it sort of takes away from my enjoyment, but this time it's you can see that the story's in place.
Right.
That they actually have a plan on where they're going, and I'm more interested in seeing more action from Nakamura and AJ.
Yeah. Even with the count finish, I thought this match was light years ahead of the WrestleMania bout, if only because they had this story to tell. This wasn't two guys having a match just because the fans expected greatness from them. There was a legitimate good guy and a clear-cut bad guy, and the result was a much more engaging match. Nakamura put on lower hand stops to try and win the match. He only endured a reign from an more angry and focused AJ. Therefore, is a story that can bleed over into SmackDown this week. As WWE in the next 2 weeks, no, this week. As WWE prepares for Backlash next Sunday, because the rematch was confirmed for Backlash next Sunday. The real question is whether Nakamura did enough here to convince the management of getting around with the title. For me, the answer is definitely yes. I thought Nakamura did more than enough here.
Yeah.
To reserve a run with the belt.
Oh yeah. I give it a B+.
I also had to decide the line match and give it an
A. Okay.
Up next, Rusev versus The Undertaker in a cage match. Undertaker defeated Rusev.
We got very strong glimpses of old Undertaker here. When he was walking out, he looked in phenomenal shape. Probably the best in probably 10 years.
Yeah,
I've seen him look. And the match was pretty much Joe. I think put a definition on it better than I think I could. So I'm just gonna steal his definition. Probably Undertaker's greatest hits.
Both late drop, both apron.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
Ah.
Kind of, sort of on the same lines as Cena and Taker from this year's Mania. However, Rusev gotten a ton more offense than Cena did.
Yeah.
But again, it's pretty much just to show that Undertaker's back, and he means business.
This is a little bit more than a spectacle. The Undertaker made a rear appearance, drawing enormous reaction. I picked up the win in a match that was never questioned. All told about Rusev today, his stats of the company, his push for non-factors, his Undertaker beat him down. I guess you could say in glorified squash, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And scored to win one of his central matches. Undertaker looks definitely better than they did in his 2017 WrestleMania match with Roman, so. But given the limited nature of his physicality, there, that wasn't saying much, but he still did a lot more here. Rusev looked good, though, slugging out with Taker at one point. But what I did worry about, he did kind of feel out of place in the match from a star power point of view, though, in my mind.
Yeah.
And
Sort of.
his credibility match with Taker was kind of non-existent.
Yeah. I actually gave the match a B-.
Oh, my fault. And the match to keep the crowd's interest, though, so that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
For the second one, that was probably disappointing. I gave it a 6. Up next, Brock Lesnar retains the Universal Championship over Roman Reigns in a steel cage match in 9 minutes.
This match felt like a finisher fest to me. Just a ton of F5s, ton of spears, ton of Superman punches. And then we get to the finish where it was where a lot of it went wrong. You're typically in a cage match. The first person to escape the cage with both feet touching the floor, the 2 feet touching the floor is a common rule in WWE matches, or you have to be tossed out of something or escape from something.
Yes.
This time, Roman speared Brock through the cage, landed on the floor. Brock's feet were still up, leaning against the apron and the steel cage that had fallen with him. And Roman rolls over and puts 2 feet on the ground. Somehow, they go by Brock Lesnar fell out first. Not necessarily by their own rules, but that's probably how it was booked from the beginning. The match was a lot more exciting than their Mania match. However, there were problems with it, I felt.
Like AJ versus Nakamura earlier in the show, this was better than their WrestleMania match. Of course, that does not take much considering how truly awful the atmosphere was for that.
Yeah.
This was a heavyweight battle between two bears just looking for a knockout blow. For just pulls, they forgot submissions or hook spots. It was a fight, and they did portray it well. The finish is an interesting one that creates doubt that Lesnar fairly won the match and positions Roman in a much more favorable position to demand on a rematch. That he was in Final Mania. Had this occurred on Mania, the Mo's and Groves come out about. We were actually treated probably what might not be as quiet as loud that this was the kind of match that had Mania.
I gave it a C+.
C+. And the main event, the Greatest Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman picked up the trophy and the championship by last Mania and beat Cass.
No, I didn't enjoy the Rumble. In the grand scheme of my favorite Rumble matches, from like 99 being the worst and 2000. I'm sorry, either like 2001 or 1992 being the best. It's probably gonna fall somewhere around the middle. It was fun. It was a Rumble match, but there were parts where it didn't feel like much was going on, and we were literally just waiting to the next thing to come. Even WWE seemed to feel that, where the eliminations, I'm not saying they weren't 90 seconds, because we actually timed the 2 in the beginning, and they weren't 90 seconds whatsoever.
Right.
But they felt like they were just trying to throw people out quickly so they can actually get to a much more interesting part of the match, to me. However, I thought that this match had enough pretty enjoyable and entertaining moments throughout this whole match. I love that Bryan practically went the whole way through and just missed it, and Cass got the heat on him. They really seem like they're high on Cass. However, not as high as Braun Strowman clearly yet. And Joe actually put up an interesting argument or an interesting theory that at the end to crown Braun Strowman, Vince was standing in a ring with, I guess, some sort of Saudi
Royalty.
official.
Yeah.
Royalty. But again, it's sort of the run-of-the-mill Royal Rumble match to me.
Yeah, from a marketing standpoint, the Greatest Royal Rumble was also cost on a price sold subscription and network. Execution-wise, for me, it was probably too much with too many superstars that no one cared about.
Yeah.
With that said, there were some damn fun spots that elevated overall quality. Bryan's historic run.
Yeah.
I believe it was 6 minutes. Longest ever in a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Shane's death-defying bump. Jericho and Ray's returns, they still looked awesome, and the biggest one in Braun's career.
Oh yeah.
So spotlight the race superstars, and gave fans a little bit of everything to enjoy. It was a full concept, sure, but they treated it like it was a hugely significant match. So as a result, it was easy to invest in the match itself. The 50-man match was still point of show, so while the undercard may not live up to its expectations fully, this did at times as so. I guess since this was a complete failure, the event, it's the completely random event, which is what it was. It's not going to be an annual thing. I'm not sure if it's going to be Greatest Rumble every year, but a show in Saudi Arabia is an annual thing. And I believe too they have a 100,000 seat show coming up in Australia in October. So that starts to break the Dallas record already. So
wow.
And so
I wonder if they're going to televise that one.
I would guess it was breaking the Dallas record.
Or they're not going to televise it and still have that record as a WrestleMania show.
It's going to be the greatest Survivor Series ever. A month before Survivor Series.
There you go.
A 25-minute tag at the end. 25-minute each series.
And the winner gets the golden didgeridoo.
Right.
Or a kangaroo in a kangaroo pouch.
There you go.
on a big little stanchion.
Overall, that's the success of the Rumble. The event has a considered success. What did you get a Rumble?
I gave the Rumble a B.
I think a B plus. Titus was the highlight.
Yeah. Oh, clearly. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. If you didn't see the show, I recommend. You'll probably see this on Twitter if you go on there and type Titus O'Neil right now. But the funniest part of Titus's sort of slide under the ring to me was that he literally almost slid completely under the ring, and the ring apron literally like closed shut behind him.
Just his feet were out.
Sort of like, yeah, you don't need to see this.
Yeah.
Alright, for predictions though, the big winner ended up being me
By
1 point.
right. Well, yeah, we got two. We each got. You got 2 matches we're working on, and we got 3.
Yeah.
So Ant and me are still on our same. I'm up by 1 on Ant, and I gotta put the numbers in, but yeah. Actually, I do gotta put the numbers in. It'd be nice if we kept track of the actual records. I remember where I predicted.
Yeah.
We never took track of the records. So just to clarify, WrestleMania night,
That was someone's job.
someone was stuck in the middle while his laptop was next to you. And considering we were writing down grades all night, any one of us could have made a record on our phone, just so I had a copy.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the middle, just to clarify, because I'm the shortest. I'm the skinniest. So.
Alright, well, a record is coming, and also the title.
I know everybody's predictions.
And also, the title belt will be coming in the distant future.
Right. Monday will be our reviews for the build up to this show.
Yes.
First time I talked to my live at NXT and Elimination Chamber 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Throwback review. The next Friday, back to usual with everybody and not everybody, with everything and Backlash predictions for next Sunday.
Yes.
Where that does count as a pay-per-view. If Pat wanted to, he could choose a pay-per-view for me because this doesn't qualify as a pay-per-view. So if you want to, you can choose a pay-per-view for me by Monday. And let them know. Because this under the network, it's under network exclusives. It's under pay-per-view. So if you want, I don't mind doing one.
I'll be nice this time. I'll give you a break.
All right, fine then.
We've watched a lot of wrestling shows. You can just watch your normal amount of wrestling shows and not have to book.
Okay, he's making it sound like watching too much wrestling is a problem for me.
I know it is. I know it is, and he watches the WWE Network 24/7.
Yeah, no, I didn't even up on Netflix.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well, Netflix is boring. All the shows I watch on Netflix, I watched them over and over like 5 times already. And so next week when I win the Backlash predictions, Pal get 2 shows then. Just only give me one for tonight. I'll give you 2.
That's not the rule.
Yeah, well, too bad.
We to be fair, both of us went into it saying no, we don't have to do it that way.
I'll give you the option to give me one. Or not, you get 2 shows next week, and one will be bad.
All right then, and I'll give you a show.
No, I'm good.
All right then.
I watched all my shows this week, so I'm caught up. So if you want to give me one, I can. That'll do it for now. We'll see you Monday with somebody's reviews for this week's show's reviews. That
Yes.
really play a difference into what's going on next week.
You'll be watching week-old reviews.
Except for NXT will be the only one of significance because that has nothing to do with the Great Royal Rumble. And our Elimination Chamber 2011 review.
Yes.
Which involves a Kelly segment. For all you Kelly marks.
Yes.
So see you Monday.
I have pins and needles I'm sitting on.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
Bye.
Bye.